Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Frame Live. My name is Dottie San Martin, and I'll be your host this afternoon. Well, who could use a little ray of sunshine? Today, our guest, Ray Kawasaki, is definitely going to be a ray of sunshine for you. Ray, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Hi.
It is so nice to have you here today. Ray, tell us a little bit about Ray Kawasaki, the can-do kid. Who is that?
Uh, it's just a 37-year-old guy who's can do anything he wants to if he really wanted to.
That,
um,
that is awesome.
just no, first of all, thanks for having me on here. It means a lot to me, so thank you.
It's our pleasure.
I don't know where to start. Just being known to be disabled, but not letting the disability stop me. Thanks to my mother and all of my friends and family who got me started into anything and everything.
Well, started in any and everything. That's a really good statement because from what I understand, you you have participated in a lot of different things. You definitely do not have no or can't or I am not able to. That's not in your vocabulary. You amaze me. You have that I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that I do it one way or the other. And I used to always say, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, yes.
You definitely have that will. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have experienced, some of the sports that you have experienced.
All basically starting back in Oklahoma, where I was pretty much raised. Uh, Being disabled and being in a small town where sports was a big deal for everybody, the Boys and Girls Club, baseball, to swimming, to football, anything. After I had moved, after I had moved from Colorado to Oklahoma, in Colorado is where I started karate and bowling. So starting with those, moving to Oklahoma to actually being able to do baseball, Little League football, wrestling, all of that. It's trust me when I say there was a lot of no's and can'ts and couldn't do it, didn't want to do it. I'll be honest, but yet I can do it. I could do it. When you get, pushed by my mother, it's like, no, you can't give up. You can't give up. Do you want to do this? We will find a way to do it.
That's right. Wow. Wow. So let's just, we've got viewers from all over the place. I want to make sure that they fully understand your story. You
Okay.
are a double amputee.
Yes.
Above the knee.
Yes.
So that in itself has its own set of challenges for you, but it doesn't just stop there. So, you have missing digits on both hands. So that
Yes.
also throws another level of challenges into the equation. And you picked up bowling at about the age of 8, am I right?
About 30 years ago, yes.
And what got you into bowling?
I guess you would call him a third generation. No, my grandpa was bowling, and he was pretty big here in Hollis Springs and the deaf bowling community when they had one. And then, of course, my mom, and then now me.
And what is your level of participation in bowling now?
Now I think anybody who's watching this can tell you I bowl like 5 nights a week, maybe more. I have a hard time saying no when someone needs me to bowl. So plus that.
Uh-oh. You've been bit by the bug.
Yeah. And then now, being on the a board member for the Pikes Peak USBC for the past, 3 or 4 years now. So I'm pretty involved. I'm involved.
Yes, and Ray, can you share with me When we first logged in for our call today, which was our very first time to meet, you shared with me about something that just about this time in your life and some exciting things that are happening specifically today. But can you kind of share that with our viewers, because I thought that was so touching.
Oh, when you reached out to me, yeah, like after I'd gone to Wichita, and the gentleman West, I met with him and he shared he shared his post. That was amazing. And ever since then, everything's just been, you know, overwhelming. People recognizing me, especially when I came here to Vegas over the weekend, doing my first Open Championship, and then Bowl.com. They pulled me aside and they wanted to do a small interview, and they literally just posted the article. So everything's been, it's been like, I don't think it's hit me just yet, but no, it means a lot to me that I'm inspiring everybody. But it's like I said, I thank you guys. I thank Bowl.com, the USPC. It's been really good, really good.
Well, that's awesome. Well deserved, by the way.
Thank
Let
you.
me ask you this, Ray. I'm sure that you have had so many things in your life that you have overcome, but what has been the most rewarding thing that you have had to overcome, or the most memorable?
The first one for me would be high school wrestling. That would probably be the first one I would have to say. Being a small kid from McAlester, Oklahoma, shout out to all them. When I qualified for state my senior year, that was my rewarding thing.
Wow, what an accomplishment. What an accomplishment. And what has been the hardest or the most frustrating thing or challenge that you've had to overcome?
To be honest with you right now, it's bowling. It
Yeah.
really is bowling. Yes. It's out of all the sports I have played, including the physical demands of wrestling, bowling is the hardest one. It's something that any of my bowling teammates know. I get down on myself, but I keep trying. I keep try to practice. It is physically and mentally challenging, but I think that's what keeps me around, because I want to get that 700, get that 800. I want to get that 300, and I'm gonna get it. It's just a matter of learning the game.
Yes. And it is challenging, but like you said, that's what keeps you going back, because you feel like, okay, next time I know now what I need to do. I need to move, I need to do this, I need to slow down.
Right.
And that's what makes it such a wonderful sport, though.
It is. I love it. I love it and I hate it, but I love it.
Ray, I'm sure that there's been a number of people in your life that have encouraged you and supported you. Who has been the most inspirational and had the most impact of who you are as a person today?
By far, my mom. By far. She's disabled herself. Many not know that, but she is. She's an amputee, below the knee amputee with one leg. But ever since I was a kid, she basically told me, if I wanted something, I have to find a way to get it. Something off the counter, I have to find a way to get it. Pull up a chair. She made me think. And then going into sports, same way. There are moments where she is a mother, she doesn't want to watch her kid wrestle or get hurt, but
Yes.
she's got to keep going. And then countless of people, throughout the elementary, junior high, high school, numerous of coaches, all of them from McAlester, Oklahoma. I owe every one of them. They, of course, being coaches, are concerned of a disabled, student.
Mhm.
But other than that, they would work with me and they let me figure it out. So every one of them has has been an impact in my life for sure, definitely.
That's amazing. The world needs more people like that, right?
Yes, yes.
I have to mention this. I have a copy of the book that you wrote, Ray the Unstoppable, which is so appropriately named. Um, Ray, what inspired you to write this book?
Uh, During the COVID time, 2019, 2020, a good friend of mine, Samantha Lee, she's a book publisher as well, and she's been encouraging me, telling me like, you need to write a small book or something, because you are really inspiring. She keeps not begging, but giving me ideas and just like, you can do it, you can do it. I'll help you out here. You just tell it what you've been through and what the kids need to hear, and we'll make it work. So we both got together, you know, FaceTime and online, trying to go back and forth. And of course, me being me, I don't see myself as inspiration, but I know I am. But it turned out to be really good. I love the book. I love the book.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's definitely, I was able to pick up my copy on Amazon, but it really is a great story. And, that kind of leads me, COVID has left so many people feeling just they're lost. They've lost a lot of things. They have gone through some very tough times, and a lot of people are discouraged. And that's really hard. But I'm hoping that our message today is that don't give up hope. If you want something bad enough, you can make it happen, because you are a living example of that, Ray. You have, despite your obstacles, you really have thoroughly embraced life. And I'm sure, you mentioned that you're back home, that your friends back home and your fellow students helped you through so much of that. But I'm sure that there were also times where there were people that weren't so nice.
Right.
And I see that so much with our young people of today, especially with social media. So many people feel, that they can say anything because they're able to hide behind that social media profile, and they're able to say things to other people without really realizing the impact, the negative impact that they can have on that other person. So, let's talk a little bit about that, about bullying, and how it could very easily take someone down a rabbit hole, and how I'm sure that you've had people bully you, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you overcome that, Ray?
Everyone handles it differently. You'd be surprised. I don't have as much as bullying, but there are, and there has been some bullying, and I just don't acknowledge. I mean, I acknowledge it, but I don't let it get to me, if that makes sense. I mean, like,
don't give it any real estate up here, right?
yeah, it's there's always what I call hate. There's always someone that's going to be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Some people take it to heart more than others. But when it comes to social media, it's doesn't faze me one bit. And I try to tell my friends that, and I try to tell other people that, you make content, you bowl, you do art, whatever it is, someone's always gonna bring that ugliness, someone said, I can't remember who it was, but someone's like, when someone's being ugly behind the screen, they're dealing with their own issues and they're taking it out on you,
Right. You are so right. And the thing is, I kind of was positioning this, that it was children that were doing the bullying, but adults can bully too. Adults can bully just the same as kids, and they can be just as evil and just as hurtful. And even in like the grocery store, or even in the workplace. There's
Mhm.
bullying that goes on in the workplace that you maybe don't even realize that it's bullying.
Right.
But yeah, I think that that's a good way to look at it, and but it's unfortunate that bullying does have such a negative impact on, and I go back to children, because children are still very much, they want to fit in. They want that
Yes, yes.
peer-to-peer acceptance. And so, I think that it's something that we all ought to be mindful of, about how that can impact someone's life, and it can have lasting impact on their life as well. Okay, so you have accomplished a lot in 37 years, but I'm sure that you have a bucket list of other things that you want to accomplish. Can you share just a little bit about maybe some of the things, or even a thing that you still haven't done that you want to do?
Uh, Bowling wise, definitely get a 300. That's a no-brainer.
Okay,
Um,
I'll be watching on that one.
yeah, I came out here for the first the Open Championship, so this is year one. So everyone can definitely count me on going in every year from here on out, because it's definitely a
Good.
good experience. Things that I haven't yet done, everybody back home knows I'm gonna eventually get the incline. I don't know if you heard about the incline down in Colorado Springs, Colorado, but
No.
I'm definitely not in shape for that just yet. But it's a good hiking up the mountains, basically. Um, Other bucket list, just travel the world, basically. Continue. I want to continue bowling. And since this is something that I'm dedicated to now, I want to continue to be able to, spread the smiles and good and whatnot. But as far as bucket list goes, 300 is my number one right now, followed by the incline. So
Well, I will tell you this, Ray. We have another guest, or had another guest on this show, Easton. He's 12 years old, and his dream is to become a professional bowler. So I'm watching, because in my lifetime he's going to accomplish that. And
good,
he
good.
also is going to bowl a 300 very soon. So I'm watching him. I'm going to keep my eye on you, because I have a feeling a 300 game is in your near future.
That'd be awesome. I'll be
Yeah.
on the lookout for Easton too as well. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, maybe you guys can connect. So I want to ask one more thing before we leave today. What message do you have for any of our viewers that might be feeling discouraged because of challenges that life has thrown them recently? Or perhaps they're just worn down from being bullied. What message of hope do you have for those people?
as far as challenges go, challenges are made to be beaten. So whatever challenge you're going to go through, you can't give up. I mean, that's simple as that. And then as far as like the mental state, the depression, I mean, it's real. Nobody takes it seriously. You know, Trust me when I say there is always someone out there. You know, don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out to me. There are good people out there. The bullying behind the screens, don't let it phase you. It's just words. I mean,
Yes,
I can't express that enough.
absolutely. Ray, as you were speaking, I just thought of something that really should be on your bucket list. You really have a future as a motivational speaker. As I mentioned to you earlier in this call, when we just had met, um, you are an inspiration to so many people that you don't even realize that you're inspiring people. You're the presence that you have, your positive attitude is inspiring. There's no denying it, and you radiate that. And for that, we all owe you a big thank you for that. But anything else that you would like to say before we wrap it for today?
Thank you again for this opportunity. It really means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you. And to everybody out there, hi.
And Ray, as I said, I'm not very good about watching the comments. So if there's questions that our viewers have, Ray, would you kind of monitor this live show after, from time to time, and catch any questions or comments that people might have?
Yes.
We really appreciate you being on our show today. I look forward to one of these days having the opportunity to meet you in person. But it has definitely been a pleasure to have you as a guest. And viewers, I hope that, as I said at the beginning of the show, I hope that we have left you with a ray of sunshine, because my name now for Ray is not the can-do kid, not nothing along those lines, but he's now going to be Ray of Sunshine. So, Ray, thank you very much for being who you are, and for the wonderful attitude and the wonderful outlook that you have on life in general. And I hope that you can rub off on all of us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great afternoon. It's been a pleasure hosting the show today, and we look forward to having another show in the very near future. We're going to be on the road to Bowl Expo soon, so keep watching. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.